I'm sure every other person will join us.
Okay, ma'am. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, or good morning, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. My name is Esther Odebulu, the program manager for Everything on Data, and I specifically want to welcome everyone to this 50th anniversary of Everything on Data. I'm so excited. I'm so delighted. I'm glad to have everyone on this call this afternoon. And I'm sure it's going to be an amazing time and an amazing experience also for everyone on this call today. And first, I'd like to say a very big congratulations to our founder on this year's anniversary. It's 5 years of impacting life, 5 years of amazing years of impacting life, of training people also, and also mentoring and building a community. So I want to say a big congratulations to our founder. Also, I'd like to say a big congratulations to all Everything on Data community member. If you know, yeah, if you are proud of this community, please let's celebrate ourselves as a community member. Let's celebrate ourselves. It's not easy joining this community and being here to actually be part of this journey. It's not easy. Please let's celebrate ourselves. And lastly, I would like to celebrate our community leaders. These leaders have been exceptional during this past 1 year. We've been having leaders year in, year out, but these sets are really, really exceptional. I want to appreciate them, really commend their efforts for what they've been doing so far. They resumed their tenure last year, September, and I must say they've been awesome. We've been having trainings back to back for community members. Even despite the low turnout of the community members, they still didn't give up. They're able to give back to the community. And I must really commend everyone from our global president, global community president, Emeka, to our training lead, Oluwatosin, and to our communication lead also, Olubukola. I really want to say a very big thank you for upholding this community and keeping the community alive. Thank you very much. And also, I'd like to appreciate all our guest speakers who are here today. I really want to appreciate from Mr. Olainka, the whole of Sterling Bank. It's not easy bringing you on this call. Thank you very much, sir, for honoring us. Mr. Damilare, all the way from Microsoft. I really want to say a very big thank you for honoring our invite. Mr. Peter from PwC. It's really, really really, really amazing to have you here. And to all our community grad members who have gone far and wide, and for us to bring you down here and you're able to honor us, not saying that this community we started from and just neglecting. We really, really appreciate. Thank you because you called and you really respond and you honored our invites. Really want to say a very big thank you to you. Thank you, everyone. I would like to welcome everyone here once again to this special and amazing 50th anniversary of Everything on Data. I know we have a lot to achieve in Everything. This is just our starting point, and I believe we have more success, more lives to impact. Thank you very much once again. So before we move forward, this event is actually going to be very short. So it won't take much of your time, but I'm sure you're going to enjoy every aspect of it. So I would like to share my screen. I would like to share with us our achievements so far for the past 5 years and what we're looking forward onto in the next 5 years also before we bring in our guest speakers. So please just give me a minute and let me share my screen, please. Please, I don't know if you can see my screen, please. Can we all see my
Yes, I
screen,
can.
please? Okay, so our
Yes, I
achievements so
can.
far. All right, so our milestone and achievements so far at Everything on Data. We're on our 5th year and it's quite been a journey, but it looks like we are just getting started. We want to say this is just the starting point for us, and we have more exciting period for us to get and enjoy as we go through this year anniversary. And also our students we've trained so far, we've trained over 10,000 plus students so far, 10,959 students that we've been able to train so far also. Then those who have been able to use our web platform, we have over 158,000 in all 7 continents of the world. in which Nigeria is the most populated, where we have them using our web platform and so on. And our total cohorts that I've been able to achieve so far, we've been able to achieve a total cohort from the past 5 years. And it's not easy. We started July 2019, and it has been training from monthly basis, back to back, during the months, during the years also, without giving up. We started from cohort one, stream two, stream three, stream four. So imagine the number of people who pulling through each stream coming in to train from us. So now that we have a total cohort, 40 cohorts achieved at fifth year. And it's so amazing that our 40th cohort will be commencing next week. It's supposed to have commenced, but we had to step it down because of this anniversary. So it will be starting next month. And this cohort is actually going to be a special cohort because we'll be giving out a lot of discounts to everyone who will be joining this cohort. So I want to encourage you and enjoy you to join us in this course so you'll be able to get every benefit and enjoy this data era with us also at Everything on Data. So our total course achieved so far for the past 5 years has been 40 courts. Then on our community group, we have a community group of grad members of certified data analysts who has completed our training both from the beginners class to the intermediate class, and they've gone through all our courses and we're able to certify them as data analysts. So we have over 300 plus on our community group also. And on our social media platform, on LinkedIn, we have 4,400 followers. We have a lot of crowd on LinkedIn. And on our Instagram, we have 670 followers. And on Twitter also, we have 200 plus followers. So our community keeps growing. This is not the way we started. So, and we are grateful that it's not the way we are not the way we were before, but we keep moving and increasing always. And also, this has been our partners also. We've been able to partner with so many organizations. We partnered with WatchPay, which is an NGO for women, in which we offer scholarship and training for women who are tech inclined and ready to take up this technology aspects. Then we have the Hegemony Data Consultant. Enterprise DNA also is a company who give a free subscription to all community grad members. As long as you're a certified data analyst from Everything on Data, you'll be entitled to get a free subscription to Enterprise DNA, in which you'll be learning all the Microsoft Power Platform for free and Global AI Hub also. These are people that have been able to partner with Everything on Data, and we are doing so fine and great with them also. Then this year, May, we launched the ABC of Artificial Intelligence, in which you can actually learn AI in 13 minutes. And it's just the basic ABC of that's why we call it the ABC of artificial intelligence. Whether you're a newbie in technology or a newbie in data, you have the right to learn this. And it's very amazing how you can inculcate AI in your everyday life, in your business. It's very amazing. And the offer is that it's a course in which you will enjoy, and you earn a certificate after going through the course. So it's something I will actually encourage everyone to join also. For everyone who are on this call today, you'll be getting the free access to take this course on our website. So after today, it might not be free. So these are things we'll be offering out to everyone today on this call also. Then on our 40th call, so we'll be giving up we're having an anniversary deal where we're giving out discounts in our current 40th cohort that will be starting next month, as I've said. So the link to join the community and the link to join the training aspect will be dropped on the chat. So you can just come on board and you get further information concerning the training. So I want to say kudos to everyone. Yes, to more achievements and milestones in the future, and a big congratulations to our founder once again, to more achievements, greater wins, greater success in the future. So thank you everyone, and thank you very much for listening today. So moving forward, I would like to introduce our first speaker for today without wasting much of our time. Please just give me a minute. Let me share my screen of our first speaker today. A man of very reputable person who is in our midst today. Very pleased. So I'd like to introduce to us our first speaker for today, in person of Mr. Olayinka Oni. Mr. Olayinka Oni is currently the Executive Director, Chief Operating Officer at Sterling Financial Holdings Company, Nigeria. He has acquired over 15 years working experience as a group head IT. And it was a key driver also in the establishment of Everything on Data before it started and supported the vision. So I'm sure you'll be able to give more story about the way Everything on Data started also with our founder. And he's a great mentor and has mentored so many people. He's extremely passionate about building, developing, and impacting life. So everyone, join me as we welcome Mr. Olayinka Oni, who will be taking us through his experience in the data space in the next 15 minutes. Please, let's appreciate him. Do a clap for him, do a thumbs up, and welcome him. Thank you very much, sir. You have 15 minutes, sir, to take us through this. You're welcome, sir. You have the floor now, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody. I really don't have a presentation. I told Moji, even though I tried to potentially put something together, but I just never got around to doing that. But I thought that I definitely wanted to be part of this, if anything at all, to kind of almost testify to the power of the human mind and how that just an idea can become something extremely powerful and impactful and great. Imagine when Moji first had the idea about this, she clearly, obviously didn't know how to start. And I recall that my very first guidance is just start. Start anyhow. Over time, things will take form and structure. And I think that that's really even the story of data. Everything is unstructured and means absolutely nothing until somebody starts putting some structure to it and start making meaning out of it. In the hands of, just ordinary data in itself means nothing until you start to organize and start to make inference from it. That's the whole construct of what data is about and analytics and the power of data in itself, how that can shape your decision process from maybe having to know what's the right drug to use to cure a disease, to knowing what it is that I need to do within my business for my business to make a turnaround. I think that that's just how powerful data can be. And at the same time, how useless it can be if it is just all a mishmash of noise that means nothing. And so this whole discipline, this whole domain of knowledge that you guys are acquiring, it's relevant to every part of human life, including even secular. So a church can be better planned, a mosque can be better planned when you basically use the power of data. So I think that that's how powerful data in itself can be. And if you think about how data in itself has evolved over time from things that were like major, call it milestone or inflection, from being able to define a relational database to necessarily starting to make a sense of data management as a domain or a practice, to then obviously starting to get to a point where you're using, technologies like artificial intelligence and how that in itself can extend the ability of man to augment what a human being can do. Of course, those have been laid on foundational trends, like whether it's cloud computing, for example, or the whole construct of internet. All of those are kind of building blocks that have then continually to exponentially grow this whole practice itself. To imagine trends like being interested in data ethics, governance, and stuff like that. And that basically just means that there are different, call it domains of practice that you can take interest in, whether it's data science, whether it's data analytics, data ethics, and biases and stuff like that. There are all kinds of areas that you can necessarily then want to make a career out of. I don't think that my career in itself would also have been any successful if I have not, in one form or shape, leveraged data, whether it is in being able to identify that, you know what, the way we are growing in our cost profile is not sustainable, and potentially there's something we need to do different about our cost structure, or planning for capacity and growth within the organization, and then knowing, oh, maybe it's time to make a refresh of an infrastructure such that you don't get into reliability challenges, or just knowing that it's time to pivot out of a technology and not be faced with obsolescence. All of this, in my mind, have been very important to my own career, or to the point of knowing that when we said we wanted to build a retail franchise and we wanted to hinge that on technology and innovation, data was important. And even before people took data seriously, the construct of us thinking, let's set up a data office. And it's interesting that Moji is one of such early people we put in that team, or Peter, that I know is probably also going to speak here. The notion of, oh, let's set up a data office, let's appoint a chief data office. Even before the market thought that it was a relevant and important thing to do, we thought it was an important thing to do, and we drove that agenda to when it almost now became almost commonplace for people to do. But I think that for me, I'll still end up with where I start. It's the power of the human mind. The fact that you can become anything you set your mind to become if you just remain focused and believe in yourself. This whole everyday data that we're celebrating now was an idea on paper, and just a young lady believing that she can amount to something or make an impact, and just giving herself to that purpose and to that vision and driving it. And I can imagine now you're talking about how many cohorts that you have done. So my challenge to everyone on this call is that, you should continue to dream and aim high, because the universe continually will find, support structure for you, whether it's in people, timing, an idea may be one before its time, but if you hold on, remain focused and patient, it would necessarily, get to amount to something big. So never give up, continue to dream, aspire for greatness, and just believe that there is a greatness that is in you. And I believe that everything data still has a lot of, journeys ahead that would amount to even more and bigger success than what it is that you're achieving at your feet. And you continue to churn out people who would continue to influence the society, their organization, and the world at large. Again, thank you for having me. It's a privilege to be here, and this is something that definitely I feel privileged and proud to be with, and definitely continue to feel honored to have been on this journey with Moji and other people that are here this morning. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for that brief speech. It's a little, but there's a lot to pick from that. Please, let's celebrate Mr. Olayinka. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. So before you go, I would like every one of us to put on our cameras. Please, we'd like to take a group pictures with everyone on this call today. Please, let's all turn on our cameras, please. Let's see our beautiful faces, please. Everyone, please turn on your camera. Are waiting for others, please. We have just 1 minute to do that. Please, let's quickly do that.
You should have
we are waiting for others. So that's why we're giving them 1 minute to get prepared. We are giving 1 minute to get prepared. We only have 8 people whose camera are on.
Please can you turn on your camera? Tolu, Danjuma, Blessing, Gladys, I can see you there. Tosin, what's happening? Please, can you turn on your camera? Oh, so yeah, I can see you. Oh, fantastic. Tolu, Sheun,
Amarachi,
Ife, Peter, hi,
Emmanuel,
Femi Adeleke,
Emeka, please turn on
Rashida,
your camera.
Amarachi, you are here. Please turn on your camera. Olumide, Toby, Azan, everybody, please can you turn on your camera? Thank you. So let's do this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shogo, please can you turn your camera on your camera, please? Thank you.
Shugo is quite busy. I'm sure he might not be
Shugo
able
had
to
it
turn
on
his
now,
phone.
but switch it off. Maybe it seems to be on the road.
Yes, he's on the road.
I
Please be
guess so.
careful, Shogo. Thanks. Tolu says she's on the road. Okay. Have you taken the pics?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So before
Okay.
I call him Ogayenka, right? That's what I call him. Before he turns off his before he leaves, right? I just want to quickly say something. You know, Ogayenka is an amazing mentor. In fact, he moved from being a mentor to being a father to me, right? Because when I moved into technology, I wasn't a technical person. But I moved into technology. I remember the first day I moved into technology. The first day I stepped into IT, that's some 8 years ago. And in my mind, I was like, what am I doing in this space where they come to work weekends? You know, that was the thing that was on my mind. It wasn't a planned thing. They needed an analyst. I was going there. And I recall my first meeting. Organica did not look at my face. He was just talking and he was writing and saying, oh, okay, he asked me about my experience. I told him what I've done within the bank. And he said, oh, okay, that's good. That means you're going to bring in strategy here, your previous knowledge, and you're going to apply it. Even though he didn't look at my face day one. But I can tell you that after that day, when I'm given a task and I do it, there's something he just sees about my work and he will just say, this. I recall a particular one that he gave to me. Okay, they say particular. I think he said I should do something on technology trends as at that year. And I did it on PowerPoint. I was like, did you do this? Have you worked in a consulting firm before? And I was like, no. But I think that was the day he started seeing something in me, right? That he saw something in me. I think maybe from day one, but specifically that day. And his words were so encouraging. He would send emails and he would say, oh, this is great. Even when I feel that what I did is not great, he will say, this is great. For me, it was a big deal, finding myself, because I can be everywhere. I can be good at anything. But for someone to recognize that you have a capability, it was a big deal for me. You know, he didn't need to sit down with me 247 and say, this is how you need to do your work. But just that one conversation that I have with him all the time, that one conversation, I always pick out something and it says a lot to me, right? You know, sometimes he will speak generally about life, about work and all that, but there's something to always speak. He came in here and he said something about the power of the mind. You know, I don't know how you guys are thinking about it, but the way I think about things, I think I'm very deep. The mindset. You know, when someone is telling that you are actually good, that this is a good work, what that simply means to me is that you need to do so much more, right? So even when this whole thing of data started, right, I was doing data technology analytics, data analytics, just normal banking level officer doing my work. But he saw something. He said, we are creating a data office. There was a day we wanted to start a data office. And he said, we are starting up a data office and I want you to come up, work with everybody to come up with a strategy. In fact, those are the tough times of my life because I was delving into things that I've never done before. I was doing technology that I've never done before. I was doing data that have never done before. I recall the first submission. He said, I am disappointed. This is not what I wanted. I did it with, I think it was a rush thing in 1 month. I took that feedback. I felt so bad. I cried because someone that is always saying, you're doing good, you're doing good. I know the person says, this is not what I expected. It was a big deal for me. I don't know how you see life. But for me, I see those kind of comments personally. When we post on the group, like we have over 300 community members, right, on the group, and we've all invited them for a community meetup. When we post on the group, come to the platform, come for trainings, come and do this and that. You should be able to pick out words. It shouldn't be the whole sentence. When you pick out just that word should follow you into this platform. And it's from that word you are able to grow to where you need to become. And I can tell you that we have so many speakers. We have 6 speakers that are going to be talking today, aside from myself and Dan Larry from Microsoft, that are going to be speaking to their grad members that graduated, that started their data journey from everything on data, graduated from everything on data. And today, the sky is the starting point. They are doing extremely well. I'm sure you would have seen their profile. They are doing very well. Their journey started from everything on data. I know each and every one of these people. I know the ones that have called me over time. When they started hearing, they cried on the phone. And today they are going to inspire each and every one of us. I cannot give you the data job that you need, but I can show you that part. And that was the part that Organica showed me. It will tell me that I believe in you. It will tell me that you can do it. When I started everything on it and I told him, I want to do this thing, I don't know how to go about it. Or he said, I believe in you. You know, he will always send people to come and learn from me, right? And the whole thing was becoming that I can't start teaching Power BI to each and every one person, right? And that was when I started. I told him I wanted to start this journey, and he said I should start. I recall the stream 1, cohort 1 closeouts. I went to him, I told him that, oh, some people have paid, because I think then it was 10,000 naira. And I told him that some people have paid, I only have 30. I think I said I have like 30 people that have signed up that are coming for closeouts. Do you know what he said? And I wasn't smiling that day. I wasn't happy because I think we had so many people that, came in, they did stream 1, the beginners class, then the intermediate and finals class, just 30 people out of almost maybe 50 or 60 people. And he said, 30 people, that is a good one. Congratulations, that's very, very good. That's the power of encouragement. Someone that sees you beyond just the ordinary and says, I know you will go far. He has said it to me before, even if he can't remember. There was a day I was to move from technology to data office. Yes, because we had to move after the strategy document came and we set up that office. And it sat me down in his office and he told me, Muji, you will be moving to data office. Okay, you might not know that all your words, I remember them, but everything you say is like a record in my head, right? I keep it there. And he said, and I was squeezing my face that day because I didn't want to leave technology. I wasn't happy. And he said, I want you to go there because the future is data. Right now, you might not be seeing what I'm saying, but I believe that the future is data. And I know that you will do very well. You will do very well. You will do exceptionally well. I took those words and I moved to data office. And that story, in fact, I can't start talking about that story because that story has taken me so far, right? And that is why we have everything on data today. It is the driving force that started everything on data. I am just the voice, or I'm the one listening to the voice and I'm pushing forward. I want to say a big thank you to Organica for everything that you have done. And I'm saying it publicly here because this is everything on data. This is a testament of the words, the encouragement that you have given to me. And now we have thousands of people on our site using our website all over the 7 continents. With everything on data, some people have changed their jobs. They've gotten new job roles. With everything on data, people that never thought that they could even be in the space, in the field of data, they have become something. With everything on data, specifically for myself, right? I moved from just being that normal everyday banking officer. I moved to something very strategic. I moved today. Let me use that word I used to use 5 years ago. For those of you that can remember, I am now a raging force in the tornado of change because that is what I chose to be. And I will still continue to push forward. And I hope that all of us that we are here today, we take this back and we start thinking about what next. It's not about you. This is a community. A community, even though we taught you and you graduated into the community, you are supposed to start thinking about what next. How can you now apply what you've learned to become a better person? How do you apply it even to more people, right? When we say it is time for community meetups, you need to come here. When we say it's time to touch lives, you need to be here so that you can move from the level where you're in to get to that next step. I hope we understand what I'm saying. So thank you very much, Organica. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. And we hope that you will always be there for us anytime we want you to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Moji. Thank you, everybody. Have a great event. Wishing you all the very best. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Esther, are you there? So Esther is not there. Is Esther there?
Emma, thank you very much. My network was going off. I had to connect back. Okay, thank you very much, sir, for this, and thank you, Ma, also. There's something I actually have to pick up that mentors are very important. I've seen some people throwing a lot of things on our community group, and I'm liking that. So mentors are very important in whatever we do. And even when you have a mentor, it's always good to always listen. Because you can see how our founder is able to recall things Oga said years back, so, and these are things that has actually helped us achieve our dreams today. So, mentors are very important. Don't feel you know it so hard. You need to sit down to talk to someone who can mentor you. Even I found that is my own mentor also. So, I'm sure so many of you, I started on everything on data also as a novice to data, and I can assure you that I'm doing fine and great today in data. So, when I'm actually talking about my own data journey, Ms. Mojisola is my number one mentor. So, she's always in my story. So she's someone who has mentored me to become who I am also today. So thank you very much for that. So I really appreciate. And going forward now, we would like to introduce our second speaker in person of Mr. Damilari Shitsu, all the way from Microsoft. Please just give me 1 minute. Let me read the profile of Mr. Damilari Shitsu, all the way from Microsoft. We are so excited to have you here on this call. Thank you very much for honoring our invites here at Everything on Data. And Mr. Damilare Shitu is currently the data and AI lead at Microsoft Nigeria. He's a technology leader and expert in analytics, data, and AI, and has made notable strides in digital transformation. He plays a pivotal role in advancing the data transformation journeys of Microsoft's biggest customers and partners across Africa, particularly in the banking, energy, and manufacturing sector. Mr. Damilare excels in aligning business priorities with technology solutions, demonstrating a deep understanding of customer needs and his ability to recommend and showcase cutting-edge solutions. So join me, everyone, as we welcome Mr. Damilare Shitsu on this call. We'll be sharing his experience also with us for the next 10 minutes, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Damilare. You have the floor now.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Esther. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, depending on wherever in the world you are. Please confirm that I'm audible.
Yes, you have, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you again for the invitation. When I got the invite to speak at this session, it was a bit nostalgic and exciting for me at the same time, because you see, my own data journey began at a time when many people in Nigeria did not really see the full potential. And that's exactly the point that Mojisola has been making. Back then, it was considered sort of a technical back-end thing. Data was traditionally part of IT. Not now, when people now start to realize that the field of data is more of an advancement towards driving the business objectives of several organizations. So I don't have a deck. I mean, this is more of a cue card for me, and just to keep myself on check, because I only have 10 minutes. So the goal today is to take you through a quick journey, if you will, from where the data industry started to where it is now, and even more importantly, where it is headed. I'll share, some personal experiences, key milestones, and offer some insights, as well as insight into some of the opportunities that lay ahead for all of us in this field. So to truly appreciate where we are now, we need to take a quick step back in time. Imagine 90s and early 2000s, where the term big data was something that we only, saw in big magazines and Hollywood movies. Companies, especially in the developed world, were drowning in data. They didn't quite know what to do with it. Here in Nigeria, the situation was largely the same, where at the time still focused on traditional methods of collecting data, of storing information. We all our data were stored in spreadsheets and manual entry. We had people employed as data entry, specialists back in the day. But as the world began to realize the power of data, things started to really change rapidly. One major breakthrough that I'd like to highlight was the development of Hadoop. For those who may not really know, Hadoop is an open source software that allows massive amounts of data to be processed quickly and cheaply because it's open source. This was revolutionary for a lot of people because it democratized data processing. I don't know, was it an exclusive domain of big corporations? Hello, can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen, but it's not
Okay.
moving.
Okay. All right. No, it's not moving because my laptop just went off and on, so I wasn't sure if I was still audible. So anyway, what I was saying is that the field of data became something that was democratized, that every organization could now participate. It was now cheap, it was accessible, particularly was open source, which means that you could source information from the community, even smaller organizations. Eventually, companies in Nigeria could now start to harness the power of big data. This was, and I'd say, the turning point for data revolution in Nigeria. Another significant milestone that comes to mind was the shift from traditional databases to cloud-based solution. I don't know, some of you may remember a time when we used to store data in local servers. Well, some people still do. So I'm sure that most people remember. If you needed access, you'd better hope that the server room had not overheated, during that day. But with clouds, people could now suddenly access resources on the cloud. They could store their data in a cheap and efficient and effective way. They could gain access to it. They could assign access to different people that they wanted. So this shift in storing data not only improved accessibility, it also opened up, different opportunities for collaboration, for innovation across, different borders, different organizations, and whatnot. Fast forward to today, and we are seeing some incredible trends in the data industry. These trends are shaping the future, and I'm sure that we can give several examples of the trends that we have seen. One of the most exciting trends currently today is in the field of AI-driven analytics. Keeping it really simple, AI-driven analytics means basically that we are teaching machines to not only process data, which is what they have always done, but now also to understand that data, understand context, and make predictions and new contexts out of the existing data without expressly programming them to do that. But to really understand how the machine is able to make predictions and provide insights, what would take a human analyst weeks or even sometimes months to figure out. Machines are able to process that data sometimes in seconds, right? So here in Nigeria, this is already making a huge wave in finance, where banks are using AI to detect fraudulent transactions, to profile their customers in order to be able to grant them credit facilities. Is doing a lot in the area of healthcare, where several large healthcare organizations are using using AI to diagnose new ailments, to conduct telemedicine, several other, use cases as like that. So um, AI is being used in several folds, in agriculture, in media, in technology, real-time processing, where you don't even need to rely on the data that you were able to gather by the end of the previous day. You can now, in real time, as you are collecting that data, perform, some analytics on top of that. So, for example, in the retail sector, companies can now adjust their pricing and inventory in real time, based on current demand. So you can determine, the same way forest forecasting works. The price can change several times in a day due to the demand that you are getting over that particular product or service. For Nigerian businesses, this could be a game changer, especially for our bustling e-markets in the e-commerce industry. I beg your pardon. Now let me, just take a moment to share a bit, personal journey. When I started in this field, there were no roadmaps at all, right? There were no courses or very few courses, and only people who had the means could access them. I remember working on a project for a bank back in the day, and we had to analyze transaction data manually. I mean, like literally manually. It was tedious. We didn't have the tools at the time. Some of the tools that were available were basic at best. But what kept me going was the belief, and with the privilege of having mentors of my own. What really kept me going was the belief that data could unlock several solutions to many of the biggest challenges that we're facing at the time. And one of the key learning points from my personal journey is the importance of continuous learning. The data industry evolves rapidly. Like, you may think that, you're on top today, but because there are several innovations and advancements, you constantly need to evolve and learn new skills. Because the data industry evolves rapidly. What was cutting edge, a few years ago, today may today may be basic. I had to constantly upskill. I'm sure many people who, are practicing now constantly, do that as well. Whether through formal education, could be through online courses, it could be simply, just learning on your own at your own pace. Adaptability is another critical lesson. There are several times that I had to pivot, right? Started off my career being an animations expert, doing 3D modeling, ArchiCAD and AutoCAD. That's really where I started. Moved on to database management, moved on to MIS. Now, what I do is in the field of data and AI, which wasn't what I started with. So there are times as technology evolves where you will need to learn new skills and whatnot. So this is a necessity, right? Because we need to continue to evolve in our career. Networking also played a huge role in my career. Early on, I realized that no matter how good you are technically, your network is your net worth, like they often say. So building relationships with other professionals, having mentors, people who have done things that you aspire to do, always helps because you don't want to reinvent the wheel. And the mentors doesn't have to be, people in your locality. They could be in Nigeria, they could be abroad. This, I'll admit, opened doors for me because I was privileged to work with people, smart, brilliant people across divide. Some of whom became my mentors eventually. Having colleagues and peers
who, challenge you to learn more, study more, acquire new skills. And I dare say that Mojisola has been one of such, people for me. Even though, we worked in the same organization, the drive, the tenacity, her, willingness to learn new skills, take on new responsibilities, mentor other people, and support her colleagues were some of the qualities that I saw in her, some of the things that also pushed me, to continue to learn and acquire, new skills of my own. Finally, staying ahead of industry trends, really is key. Whether it's blockchain, whether it's AI, whether it's data, whatever the case is, all of these are really important things that we all should take note. So, what does this all mean for your career in data? Well, the good news is that the field is wide open. Whether you're interested in data science, whether you're interested in data engineering, whether it's governance, whether it's data strategy, there is definitely, and I mean definitely, a path for you to choose. Data science, for example, focus on you know gathering data, performing your analytics, building algorithms to predict outcomes, data engineering for preparing data, data storage, data governance, so these are several areas where people are building and are excelling in their careers as well. And especially today, because of the advent of AI, there is now an increased government regulation and therefore increased demand for organizations for data and AI governance specialists. Because again, you don't want your data falling into the wrong hands. You don't want people getting access to your data who should have no business going there. So this is another field that I've seen a lot of people take on, and a lot of organizations also looking to hire people with experience and specialty in that area. So growth opportunities in essence in Nigeria are quite exciting. Fintechs, e-commerce, agri-tech, insurance, healthcare, banking, government, several industries, telco, energy, oil and gas, utilities. So there are several industries that are looking for people that have the skills that we have. Back in the day, there was nothing called a data officer within the bank. But right now, we have chief data officer, we have chief analytics officer, we have chief AI officer, we have a data governance officer. So we have several fields, and not all of these fields require you to be a programmer. So you can decide again your path, and then focus on it, stick to it, improve and build yourself. As I wrap up, I want to leave you with these thoughts. Data is not only numbers or spreadsheets. It's the key to unlocking the future. Whether you are just starting out in your career, whether you are a seasoned professional, the opportunities in this field are vast and they are growing. My admonition to you is to stay curious, keep learning, and then most importantly, be ready to seize opportunities that come your way. Thank you very much for your time. I look forward to seeing and engaging with each of us, in the near future. Thank you once again for the invitation.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Damila Rishitu. And that was a great speech from you. Thank you for honoring our invite and coming to share your experience with us. One thing I can actually take from this is upskilling. Wherever you find yourself today might not be where you find yourself in technology in the next era. Just like our founder also said, when she started, she just found herself in the IT and she was able to upskill herself in that space where you find yourself. So I'm sure upskilling is actually what is very important. It's not just learning one skill and sitting down and expecting magic to happen. You need to upskill yourself. You started as automation and now you're in AI. So it's not what you started with that you're actually into today. So you don't know where you will actually find yourself in the era of this field. So the most important thing is upskill yourself in wherever field you find yourself. There's always a saying in Everything Data that we usually say that wherever you want to become tomorrow, you start working about it from today. So you move closer to where you want to be tomorrow. So wherever you find yourself and whatever you imagine you want to be tomorrow, start working towards it to achieve it. So thank you very much once again for your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you for honoring our invite, and we hope to see
Thank you.
more of you. Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much, and have a great, rest of the session. Thank you,
All
everyone.
right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Damilare, before you run, please, we would like, so most of our members would like, like training listings that you have, maybe with you, that you can share with us so that we can, some of it, the free ones, the ones that are paid, anyone at all. So if you have those listings, you can share with us also. We really appreciate that. I'm sure some of us too would like you to be a mentor, right? So, and that's the whole essence of this. It's not just coming here and talking. Some of us would like you to mentor them in this field. So, and I've written it on the chat. Please, if you have any questions, you want to be want him to mentor you, he's going to be sharing list of opportunities from a Microsoft standpoint with everybody. So please, let's connect. And lastly, I just want to say a big thank you, Damilare, for honoring our call. Damilare used to be my colleague when I was at Microsoft, and maybe I got in there and I realized that it was into data, right? Because I was everything, I was just doing the whole of technology and it was doing data. I took a very strong interest in making sure that we were aligned together, right? So he's like someone that I really like a lot because again, he's speaking the language that I understand the most. And just exactly what we've been saying before, when it's like an opportunity. You said something about your network is like your net worth, something like that. So connecting to, I saw him as an opportunity. Sorry, I'm not saying you're an guy.
It's
I
okay.
saw him as someone in the field of data. I was doing everything technology, and data is my core, right? So I saw that this person his core was data, AI, anything that you have to think about data. And I quickly connected myself to him because I am interested in getting to the next level of data, right? And I can tell you that it has really helped me. We've worked together on so many projects. And today, I am not in Microsoft, but I can tell you that what I have learned from Damilare, from a Microsoft standpoint and a data perspective, has taken me to the next level of where I am today. So I just want to say a big thank you to you. Please, if you have questions, you need him to mentor you, please just show that on the chat, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Moji. I mean, you were and continue to be such an inspiration to me, and I believe to many people that have had the opportunity to work with you. I mean, we do not have any other goal rather than to pay it forward. So I'm more than happy. I'm more than happy to lend my time, share, because this is this data and AI field is something that we haven't seen the end of, right? So it's a journey that we all are on together. And even though some of us are maybe a bit slightly advanced than others, but it's a journey that we are all on. So I'm happy to provide guidance, mentorship, if you will, share my insights, experiences, connect to opportunities, and you mentioned, trainings as well. I'm happy to share a list. I'll connect with you. I'm happy to share a list of those, and then we'll see where that leads us. So thank you very much once again, Moji. I appreciate the time.
All right, thank you, Damilare. Oh, thank you so much. Esther, please, can you share the screen for my own presentation? I think I'm the next. I'll be very fast. All right. So again, I just want to welcome everybody. And there are some things that I would like to talk about. We've spent 5 years on the community group, right? when we started Everything on Data, we had a vision for the community, and the vision was that everybody that goes through or passes through our platform should be able to get to the next level. While this has happened for some people, right, they're in the next level of their career, they're doing well. A lot of people have gone further to even do advanced courses in the field of data. We also notice that there are also some people that are yet to, get to that next level. And that is why we are doing this particular meetup for our 50th anniversary to awaken the data giants, right? There is something that is going to be, every speaker is going to be saying, and it's going to sound like the same thing. Today, it might look like, oh, you don't have that opportunity of maybe a mentor. How do you start? When I started, I didn't even have a mentor, but I was doing my work, right? But somebody saw me, noticed me, and said, you know what? I feel you have this capability. This person did not put me in a higher position because he felt that I was so good, but he continued giving me those positive words. And those are things that I try to do on the platform. That's on the Everything on Data platform. When you listen to a word can accelerate your career to the next level. That's one word can make you become more. And you also need to upskill. Upskilling is, I can't overemphasize on that word when you talk about upskilling. When I started my journey, right? Even when I was at Everything on Data, I think earlier I used to say it then, that I would read, every day I read something that has to do with data. I'm doing something data. Sometimes I sleep 4 a.m. in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning, wake up 7 a.m. in the morning because of what I'm doing data, right? I told myself, I want to be somebody that will be on top of this data field. So if I need to get to be on top of that field, right? And I just needed to put that extra effort. And when I'm saying it is not easy, it's not easy to be in that next level. People admire people that are on top of their game. But what gets you on top of that game is when you have put in that effort from the start and it takes you to that next level. Today, you might be thinking that, oh, you are not in the right role. Let me tell you, there's no role that is not right, right? That role you are in today, even if data is your ending point or is a future goal or your future, your future goal and vision of what you want to achieve, wherever you are today, start using data, applying data to whatever you can do, right? Understand even the role that you're doing. I have passed through different roles in my life, right? And those things are helping me today, whether it is data or whether it is technical or non-technical. They're helping me today to become a better person, right? They're helping me today. Those things are shaping the future where I am right now. I was speaking to someone yesterday, and the guy said, I don't feel confident of myself. I just feel as if maybe I am living someone's life. This person is a business analyst at my new place of work. And I told him, I said, you can't be feeling like that. If you are not good enough, you wouldn't have been recruited in the first place for that role, right? So what you need to start thinking around is that you need to get yourself up that I don't think I am good enough, and start looking at yourself that I am actually good at this. Even if you are not good at it, go and learn it and you will get knowledge. Now, without wasting much of our time, because we've taken so much time already, I am going to just quickly talk about our community, right? What is next and what is changing. Esther, please, can you go to the next slide? Yes. So how I wish everybody was here. We have more than 300, but unfortunately, yes, not unfortunately, we have 36 people on the call today. So for us at Everything on Data, for the next 5 years, because after every 5 years, even organizations, they rewrite their strategy. And strategy is more like structured in 3 different levels. The first level is operational, the second is tactical, and the third level is strategic. Operational are short-term objectives that you want to achieve in your organization, and more of everyday BAU work. When I say BAU, business as usual cannot get you to where you need to be. We've been doing a lot of business as usual, especially on the Everything on Data community, and we have decided that we want to stop doing business as usual and we want to move to the next level. So we are moving from an operational level now even to a strategic level because it's 5 years. So tactical is more like midterm. I think during the midterm of what we were doing, what we did more When we first started, we were like, okay, we have physical classes, then we have some classes online, offline. When we moved into tactical, we started bringing in, courses on our LMS. We started doing, we moved all our classes online and all that. Then we even introduced Google Classroom for all that. So Google Classroom did not start from being, we were evolving. And this is the era of the Gen Zs, right? So some of us that started 5 years ago, right? If you recall, 5 years ago, a lot of people were very passionate about data. Data is also a very passionate field today. Unfortunately, we are seeing a rise of a lot of people. Well, let me say the generation where we are in today, most of them are not so excited in stressing themselves. All they think about is what they will earn, how they will earn the money, but they are not ready to upskill themselves. So we, as Everything on Data, we have come up with a strategy, and this strategy is also for the community. Also, when we started, let me just add again, we used to have people that were excited about the community and we say they want to be community leaders. Over time, we've noticed a decline. And again, even if people join the community as community leaders, we don't see that passion and the community is not moving forward. That's not the community we envisaged or we started with in the first place. Saying that, I also want to say a big thank you to all the community leaders of last year into this year, because they were fantastic, they were different, and they brought everything into the platform. But you know what? They can't continue to do this if we don't have more committed people coming to the platform to come and say, you know what, I want to give back to the community. We can't continue to force Emeka or Esther or what's the name again? We can't continue to force Tosin. We can't continue to force all those our communications. We can't continue to force them to continue to give back, because giving back is not even easy. Giving back takes a lot, right? It's a thing of the mind. It's a mindset thing. When you give back, you achieve so much more. But a lot of people don't understand that. In giving back, I cannot count the blessings that have followed me in giving back. So I am proud to do it any day, anytime, anywhere. However, we don't want to enforce it on people, and we don't want to beg people to be able to take our vision to the next step. So without wasting much of our time, I'm just going to use 2 minutes to talk about what is on our screen. So going forward, we are looking at we are going to be focusing more on digitized training and learning experience. What that means basically for us is that on our training platform, we are going to be moving most of what we do. We are going to digitize our training, and you see it more on our LMS. We have our app that we are building already that will just focus on all the trainings and structures around our courses, right? So when you join our platform, because again, the people that we are seeing, the Gen Zs that we are getting now that are coming to our platform, most of them, they don't have time to be typing. If you notice, we use a lot of WhatsApp typing. So that's going to be there. But what we'll be doing more is discussion. So you have time to read and you come back to discuss at a particular time and engage within, that space. That is how our training will look like going forward. And once you're done with your training at the Everything on Data School, the next level is after school opportunities. So we've decided that we are now going to be providing automatic internships for anybody that train with us. They are going to have internship, work on projects, depending on the kind of project, if they are elongated projects or maybe projects that are, so deeply, in maybe projects that are more like the scope is kind of wide. What we are planning to do is that we might start even paying people job salary. So and also creating portfolios. So unlike before, when you are done with your training, you go into the community and you're sitting down there, nothing is happening. That's not going to happen anymore. What is happening is that after you are done, you now start working on projects. We are building a portfolio for you. You're also going to enter into a community group, but the focus now is internship, job placement, and also helping you to build your portfolio. Now, for those of us that are already on the platform already, we are sorry, we might not be able. I think we were talking about this portfolio thing. Maybe with time, we'll extend to those already on the platform and see what we can do for them. But for new entrants, this is the plan. We are going to be decommissioning our WhatsApp community group. When I say decommissioning, I think that word is a bit big. We are not shutting down on our WhatsApp community group, but the group is not going to be, is going to be a closed group. And what that simply means is that, like I said, we don't want a situation whereby we are begging people to serve, right? This has always been a very stressful, thing for us to do as leaders of the platform, right? What we are now going to be doing with the community is that while people are doing their jobs and they are joining the community now will be solely for trainings, meetups like this, and all that, right? And we so things around maybe community leaders. After this level, we are no more doing community leaders anymore, because definitely, if we even put it out there that join as a leader, we are sure we are not going to get a response. So we don't want to go through that stress of forcing people. So right now, the community group is going to be a closed group where you get a lot of information around what we are doing from number 1 and number 2, where we start helping people more from number 1 and 2, and also communicating same on the community group. So we are going to direct everything community now. We are now going to focus more on our community groups on other social platforms like LinkedIn. So if you are not on LinkedIn, there are so many people in our community that are not following us on LinkedIn, that are not following us on Instagram, that they don't even know that we have a Twitter account. So please, Esther is going to be sharing all those links. Please join all those community links, because that is where we'll be disseminating information. And if you're on the WhatsApp community group, please stay there, because the closed group now doesn't mean that we are not going to be communicating things on the group. It's just that we want to now focus our attention on building skills and capabilities and helping community members to be much more, marketable. That is what we are trying to do. And we also want to focus on mentoring too. Community members, non-community members, people that are coming in that are newly into the Everything on Data platform, rather than people just sitting down in a community and nothing is happening. So you might see that the community might be closed. Not when I say closed, you might not be able to do anything on that community, but we will be sending in a lot of information about things that will help you move to the next level. I don't know. I know this might come as a shock to a lot of people, but that is what we are looking at for the next 5 years. Thank you very much. Esther, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. We've heard it from our founder about the next phase of Everything on Data and what it's looking like. Looking at, of course, we have to follow the current trend of generation we have now, and everything has to be in line with what we have now with this current generation. So everything has a strategy. So this is the strategies we are looking at Everything on Data, and want to encourage everyone to move along with us and join us. Because after 5 years again, we'll have to come back to look at how has it gone. The way we strategized for the past 5 years, is it the same thing we have now? So everything has a face, and I'm sure we'll actually get through this as we go. So our time is fast spent, and we still have a lot of speakers who are around, but our speakers won't take much of our time. So to continue, we're calling on our next speaker in person of Mr. Peter Olomolaye. I don't know if Peter is there, please. Mr. Peter, are you with us? Let me read the short profile of Mr. Peter. Mr. Peter is currently a data analyst also at PwC. Sorry, please, 1 minute. Okay, Mr. Peter Olomala is currently the manager data and analytics at PwC, and he was the former head of operations at Everything on Data also. He was with us at Everything on Data, and he's a resulted-oriented data professional with over 8 years of experience in data field. He's passionate about showcasing the transformative power of data in everyday context and leading discussion on its potential impacts. He's deeply passionate about showing the impact data can have on our everyday lives. So join me, everyone, as we welcome Mr. Peter Olomolaye, who will be taking us through his experience in the next 5 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Peter. You have the floor now.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's an honor to be here. So I just have 5 minutes, so I'll be very quick. I've known Moji for a bit. I remember when myself and her used to be, when the data office was started, and we used to, all our dreams and our aspirations, and that we used to talking about working in Microsoft, talking about finally leaving the country one day and all that. And it's very funny to look back now because all those things have sort of come to pass. Right? Moji is in the UK leading AI transformation in her bank. We both left the banks we were working in, and we both worked for Microsoft before moving on to other careers or other paths. So, like Yinka, our boss, Yinka only said, right, you're only limited by your mind, you're only limited by what you can imagine. My task today is very simple. It's just to speak about how to align ourselves with the future of of the data field, right? I don't have a presentation deck, but I think I put something together as sort of a guide for myself to talk through. And thankfully, Damilare has also spoken about the trends that have occurred in the data industry. He has spoken about how large language models have come, artificial intelligence has come. He has spoken about how a lot of industries, especially within Nigeria, have moved away from seeing data as something that you just keep somewhere. And they've moved to it being an essential part of the operations of an organization. And what does that mean for us that are trying to align ourselves to this field? It means that new roles have come up, right? New roles like data scientists, new roles like data engineering roles. Those roles, they were not previously there, at least not within the Nigerian context, right? Those roles have come up. New roles like people who are specialized in putting in automating processes using artificial intelligence. So I'm sure some people have experience with robotic process automation, and it has generally been limited to tasks that are well structured or well defined, right? But with artificial intelligence breaking through into that bit, right? Things that were traditionally not automatable before are now becoming automatable, and rather than it being rather than being on the side of the people whose jobs are being automated, right? You want to be the person who is doing that automation, right? Um, because of things like AI and large language models like Gemini, like ChatGPT, right, and Meta AI that we all have access to on our WhatsApp, right? The expectation from every employee, right, at least on my end, the expectation of people who work under me, the expectation of from our leaders have sort of expanded. So I'll compare it to when Google came into being, right? Before there were things that you could have had the excuse to not know because there was no other place for you to learn. But now you can simply Google a lot of those things. So right now the same thing with this new large language models. What it then does is that there are tasks that you should have taken you maybe 2 or 3 days to do. But like Damilare said, you can do those, you can automate those tasks with artificial intelligence and they'll take you seconds. So the workload you're meant to do in 2 months, you're not expected to deliver it within a day. Right. So that is one of those things you need to align yourself. So part of aligning ourselves will then be upskilling ourselves in those aspects, right? Upskilling ourselves so picking out, okay, what are the things that we're doing in the future? Looking at a lot of people, a lot of automation needs are coming. How do I want to align myself? How do I want to pivot myself into that scheme? How do I want to pivot myself into that industry, right? There's data engineering. How do I learn the skills to become a data engineer? How do I learn the skills to become a data scientist and be the one building those machine learning models, those artificial intelligence that are required for us to do um, those things. All right. And so I'll probably just share my own personal journey very quickly. So I started off in the data office in Sterling Bank. You can't just because I'd always spoken to him about wanting to do data, even though at that point I didn't even know what data was. Like what Damilare said, I knew, I wanted to do data. And when he started the data office, put myself, put Moji, and Fatai in that bit, and we figured it out on our own, right? I think the thing that helped us, what Moji probably hasn't mentioned, is that she's probably one of the most curious people you can ever meet. We learned things, right? And that curiosity fed up into myself as well. So we ask questions. Oh, how do we do this? we'll go and read about knowing how to do this. We go and learn, we'll pick up the skill. When we started the data office, none of us knew how to do Power BI. It was something myself and Muji sat down together and figured out how to build Power BI reports, started building Power BI dashboards, and became maybe one of the few. At the point where we started, maybe one of 10 people in the whole country who knew how to use Power BI at that point, and that was our advantage at that time, right? And we then started developing other skills in data engineering. How do we source data? So when everybody was looking at databases, we then started looking at unstructured data, how to do all those things. So one of those things is always pivoting to learn the next, always staying ahead of the curve. And then, and I'm sure, thankfully, Damilare has mentioned those things. And then the final thing for myself, right, or the final two things I'll mention is the first part is about mentorship. Like Moji has said, Yinka Oni was a very, very pivotal person in both our careers. And then for myself, Moji, in addition to Yinka Oni, because I went to join Moji in the data office. We talked. She said she was going to Microsoft. After a while, she recommended me for a position there within Microsoft, and I got a job within Microsoft as well. Right. And I'm going to have for guidance, going to have um for leadership, right? Has significantly helped me. There are times I've been confused. I'll just call Moji up and she'll be able to provide that guidance and say, okay, this is what I think you should do. This is how you should do it. Or call Yinka up and Yinka will say, no, don't go to that. Don't go to the organization. They don't have a very good track record. Right. So a lot of that with mentorship and having someone to be able to speak to, right, it's very essential. And then the final part is God, right? I'm a Christian. I believe in having God direct what you do, right? Having God direct what you do. Because I remember, and a lot of people don't really put that into play, but I remember when I would wake up in the night one day and the inspiration would be go and start preparing for interviews. And I was wondering, why am I preparing for interviews? I'm not looking to change my job, right? But then the opportunity comes, and then you are very grateful that God had prepared you beforehand for that opportunity. Right. So that's one of that. Those are my key indicators for you aligning yourself to how the data industry goes. So I'm hoping that in my not too long talk about what we have done, what I've been through, and about aligning with the future, I've been able to a little bit provide some clarity for some of us who might be looking to as to what is next in our data journey. Thank you very much. Thank you, Muji. Thank you, Esther, for the opportunity. I'm really grateful.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Peter, for that talk. It's very important, as you have said, mentor is important, number one. And when even in this data journey, you can't know it all. Let's just put it that way. You can't know it all. You see the way Mr. Peter was actually sharing his experience with our founder, Mrs. Mojisola, saying how they usually work together. You can't just sit there and say you want to learn it and sit down and learn it all. You need someone to always share with. Okay, I'm not getting it. Put me through this. Put me through that. You need someone who can actually even check balance you also. How far have you gone? How are you moving forward? It's very important in this journey, in this data phase. So I want to encourage us, even apart from having a mentor, have someone you can work side and side with, who can check balance you in this journey also. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Peter Olomolaye. Mr. Mushla, do you have anything to say on that before we move forward, please?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Peter, for that amazing, talk, really. And the fact that I really feel honored that, funny enough, just as Peter mentioned, we used to say things like when I recall when Peter joined my team, and we would just sit down and we'll be saying, I'll just come, I'll say, Peter, I'm going to get into Microsoft. We are not even near Microsoft. Or we'll just come and I'll say, you know what? I think we need to start, because when we started, right, we didn't even know how to, like you said, Power BI, we're always doing things on Excel sheet. We have to beg technology to give us data, right? Until somebody told me, I think my boss then, and he said, Moji, if you continue to rely on people to give you some parts of the pipeline of your reports, then you have not started doing data. You are still left behind. And I was forced to start doing things. I started entering into data engineering. I started going into code, SQL code, things that I never used to do before, building dashboards, doing so many things. And I am happy that we were able to do that. I'm happy that Peter was by my side and we all, moved ahead together, because really, as I was moving forward, I will always push them that don't sit down here. We need to push forward, you know. And I'm really, really excited about his growth, excited about everything. I am also pushing it out to everybody here. You all started with me. I mean, if you started with me and you are still in the same level, I don't think I can be happy. So I'm encouraging everybody that is on this call today, because you've all started with me. If you are not in the level that you feel that you're supposed to be, I am now pushing it back to you that you can be in that level. If it is to even block it, time with me. Let's talk about it. Let's now start structuring how the future will look like. And the God factor, Peter, I love what he said about the God factor. When we come to into the office, I will tell him, Peter, do you pray? Let's pray. And he will just be looking at me and we'll just do this short prayer. Like we'll just do, I'm sure you remember Peter. I will just do this short prayer and Peter will be like, okay, what's going on? So, but I'm happy and I'm glad that he's talking about it now today. So, thank you. Esther, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. So moving forward quickly, we'll call our next speaker, who is one of us here. He was a grad member of Everything on Data, Stream 5, and this is Olusoji Ekunri, and he's a senior business analyst and data analyst manager with 15 plus years experience in building best-in-class analytics tools, models, and processes to generate critical insights that support data-driven decision. And he's a multifaceted experience as a team leader and technical person. He combines technical expertise in data analytics and business intelligence with project management. So his areas of expertise includes business analytics, Python, SQL, project and process management, and business development. I can see it's a whole lot from Olusoji Ekunri. He was part of us, and we are so glad for him to honor our invitation, coming back to the community to share his experience with us again. Welcome, Mr. Olusoji Ekunri. Thank you. You have the floor now for the next 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Well, we can't see your face.
Great. Yes. Can you see me now?
Yeah, we can see
Okay,
your face.
yes. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
great. So 5 minutes. Thank you so much, Muji. Grateful for you and the personality you have and the person of you. For listening through what the speakers said earlier and how the journey started. It's amazing. Thank you so much. I think I told you once before via a message that everything on data was instrumental. Instrumental to where I am today. I think I'll touch on that sometime in hopefully within this 5 minutes. But I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to share this anniversary with everyone. And I would just say, the theme Awakening Data Giants is like a call to action. It urges us to look beyond the surface of our data reserves and tap into the potentials that many organizations and or even our personal lives that we're sitting on. We have entered into a period where data is not just byproducts of operations, like I think it was one of the speakers already said that, but the core driver of strategic growth. In the early 2000s, like someone else said earlier, only a few handful of companies, I think it was Dan Larry that said that, Google, Amazon, Facebook, that pioneered the use of big data. But today, the landscape has been, I'll use the word democratized. Like there's a democratization of data tools. There's a rise of cloud computing, AI, and this has leveled the playing field, enabling organizations, people to awaken, our data giant. So the question I would ask, or the question I would pose to us all, including myself, is: are we doing enough to, to fully leverage the insights hidden in our data to drive innovation, improve customer experience, and create new business models? One of my professors in grad school will always say that 90% of the data that is available in the whole world right now was created in the last 2 years. And when we get to next year, 2025, 90% of the data in the whole world then will also have been created in the last 2 years, meaning there is no short. I mean, the volume of data that we will always have access to would always be there and growing at an astronomical rate. The question is, are we doing enough to leverage this data? Are we doing enough to leverage the insights that are hidden in this data, to improve our lives? Models, tools, and also customer experience. The world is overflowing with data-driven opportunities, whether it is using predictive analytics to anticipate market trends, or deploying AI to automate customer service. I think, like Damilare also mentioned earlier, or leveraging real-time data to optimize logistics, supply chain. The potential application of data is endless. So as these opportunities don't just fall on our laps. We need to actively seek them and align them, and also align them with our strategies. From a personal journey, like I mentioned earlier, I'll just quickly touch on everything on data. Thank you, Esther. Esther, you're fantastic communicating with you all along. Esther mentioned something just before, which was an offshoot of what the last speaker graciously mentioned, having like a data body. I will use that term. I'll be glad to see Adetola later on in this meeting. But Adetola Olabanji was my data buddy. He brought me to Everything on Data, and I will always be grateful for that. It was stream 1, I was stream 5, but we both worked at Guarantee Trust back at the time. And I will speak for myself, but I'm largely also for him when I say, at that time, we're just looking for something new. We're tired. We've done years in the bank. We just wanted, we wanted to position ourselves for the future. And Tola, caught the bug earlier on. And he was my colleague, my buddy, and he brought me onto Everything on Data. He was one of the the teachers in my stream, and it was someone I would always run to. It was someone that would always share my growth and development with at that early stage. And it was very important to have someone who like that in your corner. So I'm just reiterating what the last speaker said and what Esther also mentioned. Please, if that's one of the things you just get from here, get yourself someone you guys can grow together on this journey. Encourage yourselves. I think Muji also mentioned it also when talking about some of the speakers that had spoken. Get yourself a buddy that you can grow together, you can share ideas, you can encourage each other. So I think in closing, I would just say my advice is simple. Be proactive in identifying where your industry is heading and how data can help you get there. Like Muji, I can infer from what Muji has said several times, it was as if they were in the future at that early stage. And the rest is history now. So be proactive in identifying, even as profound or as developed that as the data community is right now, and the tools we are using, if I can still say we are still at some early stages. Who would thought that today GPT will probably be the go-to before Google? I can't personally. I don't even know. I already go to the Google search engine. GPT is like a personal buddy of mine. The way we talk, you would think I'm chatting with a friend. So but that's the way the world is, and even at that level, it is still at a nascent stage. It's still young. The opportunities are still enormous. So be proactive in identifying where your industry is heading, and how data can help you get there. Look beyond immediate challenges, and yes, there will be immediate. I mean, Muja said a lot about that. For me, I mean, it was when I got to grad school that I appreciated what EverythingonData did for me. I mean, introduction to Python and SQL and R. It was as if those were the foundation that my grad school was built on when I eventually resumed. And look beyond the challenges and think about the long-term opportunities. Invest in the right tools, and more importantly, invest in a culture that embraces data-driven decision making in your in personal life, your organization, and like the last speaker said, sometimes you may have to choose between where to go based on the culture in that environment, because that will also help determine how you grow and how you develop. But I think that's all I can. Hopefully, I was able to script it in enough time. But thank you so much for this opportunity. I will always be grateful for this community and all that I have been able to achieve through the foundations that I got here. Thank you so much, Brent.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Olusoji. It's so great to hear from you again. What I could pick up from your word is look beyond the challenges and invest in yourself. It's very important. There's no that everyone who has been sharing their experience has been sharing how they were able to sacrifice so much things to get to where they are today. So if you're not ready to sacrifice, you're not ready to take care of any challenges, you're not ready to look beyond the challenges, I don't think you can go far. So you need, even without someone challenging you, you need to push yourself. Invest in yourself is very important. And once you're even investing, invest in the right tools. Don't just go into everything. Wherever you find yourself, invest in the right place so you'll be able to become who you want to. Thank you very much once again, Olusoji. I was seeing your picture, Ms. Oisola is sharing actually on the chat now how you started then. And it's looking so amazing to see where everyone is now again. At least we are grateful for growth, and that's amazing. Thank you once again. Ms. Marisola, before we move forward.
I don't want to say much. We have other speakers, but so Jay, I'm really proud of you. I must tell you that when I saw your post, it's not like I follow people's growth on LinkedIn, but anyway, I get updates because again, I'm also connected to you guys. So for Soji, I was really proud when he first got his admission to do his master's. I was so excited about that. I think we even posted it on the group. After that, he got the job. I was so excited. And I'm like, yes, because I recall when we're doing this stream 5 closeouts, when we're still setting up things and you were coming from the road. I don't know how to, you were just coming from, you were just coming with your bag. I was just like, why is this guy looking like he's coming to fight? It wasn't wearing suit, it was just his t-shirt and everything. And when he got, he said, okay, everything on data. Right? I said, yes, everything on data. And I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, this is looking interesting. And that day he also presented. I'm happy that this foundation really, pushed you to the next level. And that is a whole lot for me to put in, but I'm just excited. So G is an example of a success story. And for everyone on this platform, we are not just bringing people to come and showcase or show you that, yes, some people are doing well. We are showing you the truth and the fact that you can. My core skills is analytics and data science. And I've started delving into AI, right? That is my core skills. When I say I'm delving into AI, I'm even doing certifications to even become an AI transformational leader. And that's how far I am going. I'm learning. And what I have done differently, where I am working today in the UK, I work in a data management team. In data management, you talk about governance, you talk about controls around data, right? But I know a bit of it. That's not my domain. My domain is analytics. What I did differently when I came into that space is that they had to create, I told them that I'm not there, I understand it. But because they saw my skills, they created a team, they set up a department for me, and they called it data management innovation, where we start bringing the ideology around analytics, AI, BI into data management. We have been doing some things, and somebody said last week when we were having a conversation with maybe like our leadership team, and the person said, data management is known to be doing manual stuff. This is the first time they are seeing data management doing things that are automated, doing things that are infused with AI and ML. And I have started standing out. And this goes to show that whatever you know, whatever you have that is a skill in this field, it can take you to any level that you need to, any level that you want to be, right? It is not a waste of time. And you also need to connect with people. If you don't connect with people, you're on your own. You just need to connect. You need to talk to somebody because you don't know it all. I'm still learning. I still connect to people. I still call people. And that's the essence of it all. Soji, well done. Congratulations to you. Esther, back to you. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So we have 3 more speakers left to go, and I'll appreciate if you can be so fast with it because we have gone beyond that time. So our next speaker we're calling on board is she's also a grad member of Everything on Data Stream 9. In person of she's a lady, a boss woman. I see her like that also. In person of Mrs. Chinazo Biancalu. She's currently the Senior Program Manager at New York Group, United Kingdom, and she has a track record of successfully delivering programs, leading teams, providing exceptional customer service stakeholder engagements, and she's a passionate advocate for stay-at-home moms. She's someone who is ready to impact, at least her call is for women. Let me put it that way, maybe because she's a woman, so her call is for women especially. And she created a head up for stay-at-home moms for them to be able to learn and upskill themselves also. So join me as a welcome Mrs. Chinazo Vivian Carlo. Welcome, Ma. You have the next 5 minutes to take the floor, Ma. Thank you very much. Are you there, Vivian? I can see you are sharing your screen. Maybe you need to, I guess you are muted. Or you need to share with a sound, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Welcome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. I don't have so much time for the banters, but I stand on every existing protocols, and I appreciate everyone here. Our program manager, Esther, you're exceptional. And of course, our own founder, Mojisola, is a story for another day. Thank you all so much for betting this. It's awesome to see that everything on data has gone global, and from our locality in Nigeria, we have all dispersed and become a global movement, which is really good and inspiring. And being here today, I would like to challenge every one of us. If you're not here global, please make sure you get global today. We are considering a broad theme in this, our 5th anniversary on reawakening data giants, highlighting opportunities and success stories. I've been already introduced, and we don't have a lot of time. This is about me. Esther has said a little, but I can't dwell on this. I'm happy to connect for us to talk more about this. I've won a lot of awards here in the UK, and this actually my professional sojourn or journey up until date. You can see my data journey started in the year 2019. It actually started in 2018 when I became an ambassador for women in data science. But at that time, I knew nothing about data. And when I was speaking with Professor Margot, I explained to her that I don't know data, but I don't know why I'm coming for the ambassador and why you're considering me to be an ambassador. She said to me, Vivian, that was what they called me then at Women in Data Science at Stanford. It's not about your know-how, it's about your leadership. And it was through this movement I got to know Moji. I invited her to speak in 2019, and she told me about everything on data and pushed me. I had a lot of things. At that time, I was managing mobile number portability. I believe most of us back home in Nigeria, you know about if you have an MTN line, you want to port it to Airtel, but you want to retain your number. I was the one in charge of it in Nigeria at that time. So I had a lot of things I couldn't commit. But she kept pulling me and making me understand that that's the way forward for me to have gone as far as taking on that role as an ambassador, that's the way forward. You can imagine we started speaking since the inception of Everything on Data, but it was only in 2020, Stream 9, that I got the chance to join the cohort, and I do not have any regrets. I've also introduced it to a couple of people. Many people on this call would have been through me, and if not through me, is a supply chain, maybe through the person I invited and the person invited them and the rest of them. So briefly, I would like to reawaken the data giants and align opportunities and success stories through the changes, the challenges, and our chances that we have to undertake. There are a lot of chances really, but I also reckon the challenges. I'm not oblivious to it because I also faced some of those challenges. Moving on. So when we talk about the changes, all the speakers that have gone before me respect. You have also everything about the changes already, how everything is now becoming data and insight driven. Look at Salesforce now. Salesforce, you don't need to do a lot of the analytics. You just go to Salesforce and it brings out all your insight and all your dashboards for you. Salesforce is even too far. Look at Airtable. Airtable is a project management or a program management platform, but you can see that when you have your data there, I don't need to start analyzing anything. I just visualize it and it gives me everything I want. So that's how the extent the changes or the milestones have gone so far when in the data space. In June, on the 13th of June last year, remember our President Bola Tinubu he enacted our law, the Nigerian Data Protection Act. So what that means is data is now widely recognized. Everyone now is talking about sustainability. That's the environmental, social, and governance data and reporting, which is the main big thing now. Everyone is talking about green Lagos, green UK, green world. Everything has all their genesis from data. Let's talk about the challenges. Everyone that spoke on this call had mention of mentors. Apologies for the typo there. I only put this together this morning when my son's football was cancelled because he has a tournament on Monday. So mentoring is a challenge because where do we find mentors? How do we go about mentors? But one thing I would say is sometimes mentoring is not that you sit down with a person and then the person will start telling you this is what you have to do, more like micromanaging you. Sometimes you may just see someone online and you would follow that person, watch the person's post, engage with the person's post. The person talks about a project she's working on. You decide to go ahead and work on the project with that person, and the rest of them. This starts mentoring, and you might not even reach out to the person for the first time requesting mentorship and the rest of them. But that's on a side. There are other mentorings. Yeah, you can reach out to people and they can mentor you. But again, you need to know how to ask the right questions because a lot of people in this space are very busy and they are busy thinking of the next big thing as well. And it's time consuming, it's mental consuming. So they may not have the whole affluence of time. So when you reach out to them, you try to follow up. Someone reached out to me sometime. I didn't realize I hadn't responded. I thought I had. The person came back again and reached out again. But this time, she reached out in annoyance that, oh, are you now so busy that you can't even respond to me? I felt really hot. I felt really sorry and bad as well because it was never my intentions. I explained and then we had to start the journey and the rest of them. But why did I share this story? You might also reach out and you'll get an outright no. You might also reach out and nobody will respond to you at all. When that happens, it's more like a problem. Turn it into a stepping stone. See problems as guidelines and not problems, and go as guidelines and not stop signs, and go ahead to the next big thing for yourself. Don't let anything discourage you on this journey when it comes to mentoring. So another challenge is about layoffs. You see a lot of big companies are being laid off. The organization I work for, we upskill Black and Asian women looking to transition into tech, and we are funded by the UK government. So one thing we've experienced is some of the learners that we put in big organizations like the KPMG, they called a meeting for us to tell us that they are trying to downsize. There are a lot of redundancies being made. And what that means is what we thought about is think about the next big thing. So in that organization where you're working, think about how you can reimagine your role. Craft your role yourself and the rest of them so that when this layoffs comes, you're already finding another niche for yourself within the same organization. So what we did for them was to now see how we diversify them into DevOps, because if you're just coming and you just have web development, or you're coming, you just have one data skill, or you don't have maybe project management skill or other skills, you see that you actually be caught in the webs. But that's how you can make yourself relevant, and the layoffs will not be a challenge again. And even if you stumble, make it a part of the dance. So what that means here is, you talk about the layoffs. Some people are being laid off, but people are being hired, because most of the layoffs now, they are outsourcing the workforce internationally. A lot of people are now getting talents from India, even from Nigeria, to come and do some work here in the UK. But you can't go to India or to Nigeria to look for someone that work in the UK when the person hasn't prepared herself or himself for that work. So that's the reason you want to keep doing the next big thing. And when you do that, you talk about it as well. Another challenge is, the cliche, AI will take over our roles in the next few days, in the next few years, AI will take over our roles. But remember, they will always tell us that AI wouldn't take our roles. It's the people that use AI that will take over our roles. So what are the chances? Continue learning, continuous learning. Everyone that spoke before me mentioned it. So we need to keep learning continuously. And also community-based learning, such as we have here in Everything on Data. It was through community I met Moji. It was through community I knew about Everything on Data, and I started my own data journey. From Everything on Data, I had to go do a master's in artificial intelligence with business strategy, and I was recognized for an outstanding achievement when I completed my program in 2022. The award came in 2023, January. It was through community. If you don't want to learn in community, you can decide to go and buy a Coursera course somewhere. And when you finish the course, they're not paying me to advertise anything. I'm not running any adverts, please. I just use it for an example. So if you learn